I was sitting at my desk one night, just staring at a few bills in my hand, and I caught myself thinking, how can I have more of this? It's the kind of thought that probably crosses everyone's mind at some point. Then I wondered, what if I just printed it? Not fake, not stolen, just printed my own money. Of course, it sounds ridiculous. Illegal, even. But that small, random thought led me somewhere I didn't expect. Because when I started researching it, I discovered something unbelievable. There was a village that actually did it. They printed their own money. Not as a scam, not as a joke, but to survive. And it happened right here in Argentina. Welcome to Secret Archive. Subscribe to uncover more real stories the world almost forgot. So the question is, how did they do that? How can a small town just decide to make its own currency and actually get away with it? To understand, we have to go back to 2001, when Argentina's economy collapsed. Banks froze, accounts were locked, people's life savings gone overnight. Ordinary citizens lined up outside ATMs that had no cash. Salaries weren't paid, stores closed, and suddenly, millions of people realized the money they had wasn't really theirs anymore. But in one small town, just outside Buenos Aires, the people refused to give up. It started with a group of neighbors, teachers, mechanics, farmers, parents, gathering in a community hall. Someone asked a question that would change everything. If the government can print money, why can't we? And that's exactly what they did. They designed small paper notes called créditos. Simple, no signatures, no holograms, no serial numbers. But each one represented something powerful: trust. They used it to trade eggs for bread, repairs for milk, clothes for food. The economy wasn't built on profit anymore. It was built on people. And for the first time in months, life began to move again. Shops reopened. Families ate together. Children smiled in the market. Money, or something like it, was flowing again. So the question now was, could this actually work long term? At first, yes, and not just in one town. Word spread fast. Other towns began printing their own créditos. Some even created regional currencies, each with its own color, name, and design. By early 2002, over 7 million Argentinians were using local money. Economists called it the largest community currency network in the world. It was like a second economy, one powered not by banks, but by people's belief. But when everyone starts printing their own money, you can probably guess what happened next. Counterfeits. People began secretly printing fake créditos at home, copying, scanning, selling. And suddenly, trust, the foundation of the whole system, began to crumble. Markets that once thrived started to argue over which bills were real. Some refused to accept certain colors or designs. Prices rose, tension spread, and the miracle that had united them started to fall apart. I came across an old article from that time. The headline read, "The people's money has been corrupted." When the government finally stepped in, it was chaos. They found hundreds of local currencies in circulation, each one claiming to be official. Eventually, they banned them all. Printing your own money was declared illegal again, and overnight, the community economies disappeared. The barter clubs closed, markets went silent, and the créditos, the same paper that once fed families, became worthless again. But here's the thing, people didn't throw them away. To this day, you can still find those little bills. Faded, worn, tucked in drawers, old wallets, boxes. To the people who lived through it, they weren't just paper. They were a reminder that when everything collapsed, they found a way to survive. One woman I spoke to said, "The créditos weren't about money. They were about dignity. They reminded us we still had value." Economists still debate it. Some say it proves local economies can't last without control. Others believe it showed something deeper, that value doesn't come from government or gold, but from trust. When the system failed, people didn't wait for rescue. They built their own. And maybe that's what makes this story so powerful. So next time you hold a coin or a bill, remember this. Money is only real because we agree it is. And when people stop believing, it disappears. This is Secret Archive. Subscribe to uncover more true stories about how fragile and how powerful our world really is.